Welcome! Here I am with the one, the only, drum roll,
Edem.
Edem. Edem, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for joining me today on this interview. So tell me, what has brought you here to the U.S. this month? Why are you here?
This month, I'm an ambassador for Ghana for the Ghana Music Week.
Okay.
We're here to just propagate the message that music can be used as a catalyst for tourism, and so we're here to make sure we send the message across and be able to get people into Ghana between March 1st to 7th for the proper Ghana Music Week. Get them to see the tourist sites of Ghana, get them to see the scenes, get them to enjoy the culture, the food, the music, and so that's the reason we're inside America.
America, whoop whoop. So, what do you think about Ghana music? How do you feel that Ghana is or is not? I'm sorry. How do you feel that music is or is not being used as a diplomatic tool?
Well, I think that to some extent, the global impact on African music and Ghana music is making us sometimes lose ourselves. And so when you want to send it across for people to recognize it, it becomes a little difficult. So I think that's the purpose of Ghana Music Week, so that people get to know the kind of sound we as Ghanaians have, and sometimes you have to expose people to things you have for them to get to know how you look like or how you sound like. And so I'm hoping that this will be one of the starters that will make inroads into music being used as that kind of tool. Yeah.
So, how did you get involved in this Ghana Music Week Festival project?
Well, I mean, the project looked at various areas of the music. I'm from the Volta region, and that's a whole culture on its own. Gasmila is from the Ga community. It has a whole culture of fishing. There's Jamestown, there's the lighthouse, there's Old Accra. My side, they have various types of music. If you look at Joey B and Papi, who also came on board, they are the very new school of artists who are doing trap and doing dressing with skinny jeans, and so we were all selected to show very diverse parts of the music and what it represents. You will see Becca, who is on the team, doing high life music, a very contemporary high life music, unlike Akosi Japan and the others used to do. And so it's just all of us identified like that by music, and then we're sent out here to get the job done. Yes.
So maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this may be one of the first times that an African country has really used music to promote itself, whether it's through tourism or other avenues. Am I wrong or right about that?
No, I think you're right. I haven't heard of any, and I stand to be corrected, but I haven't heard about any. I think most of the time it's just African artists coming to festivals in Europe or in the Americas. And so for the first time, if the pendant has shifted, well, we get people to come to the other side of the continent and make it an annual festival. I think it's laudable. It's laudable.
Definitely. So let's tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. I know who you are, but let's tell the whole world. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about the type of music that you make.
Alright, so my name is Edem, aka Go Get 'Em, aka Special Delivery. I'm a hip hop artist predominantly, and I say predominantly because even though I'm a hip hop artist, I'm diverse. I do reggae records, I do music that's Jamaican influenced, I do high life music, and a lot of it I try to inculcate elements of our culture, be it Adowa, be it Agbaja, be it high life. And so that's basically my kind of image as an artist.
So how did you get involved with music? Some people will say, they knew they wanted to be a musician from the first day they were born. Some people will say they came across it by chance. How did you get involved with music?
Well, I think it was subconsciously, in the sense that I grew up in a very wide open compound house, or how we call it, like a very communal place where people who were also sharing, who were neighbors with us, played all forms of music. So remember, there's a neighbor who used to like a lot of high life, and then there's another neighbor who used to like a lot of Jim Reeves and Dolly Parton, and so all these various backgrounds in the same space that I was growing up as a kid influenced me without my knowledge. And then when I began to realize that music was my hobby, then I was driven towards hip hop and dancehall. And then later in life, I thought I could go professional with it to be able to make some money and put myself in school. And then it has become a big business for me now.
And now you're known as Edem.
Get 'em.
So now that you've been in the music business for a while, what's the one thing you know now that you didn't know when you were first starting out? Like, what's something you've learned over time?
Okay, so what I've learned is the lifestyle is different from the work. The lifestyle is what you see in videos, what you see on interviews, what you see when the artist makes an appearance in the club. The work is being in the studio for 8 hours straight till morning, and sitting in a meeting 2 hours after resting, and getting on the road and trying to understand how to manage 1 million people and over who appreciate your music and keep your brand relevant, and how to be able to stay on top of your game in a globally competitive music industry where the internet has made an entire continent a small village. People release online. How do you release to stay relevant in Nigeria, in South Africa, in the US, and so it's quite a hell of a job.
So Africa is obviously it's a very large continent, and the world is large. So how do you make yourself relevant in Ghana, and what makes Ghanaian music different than other music that exists in the world?
I think we are dance driven as Ghanaians. If you look at all the forms of other music we have, there's a lot of dance to it. I also think that Ghanaians are spontaneous. Spontaneous in the sense that the background we are from is people come out, maybe they're telling a story under a tree, and then somebody starts clapping the hand, and then they start to sing. That is the kind of African setting we have. And so when we create, it's very, very spontaneous. Another thing that we as Ghanaians share with the music is we try to create our own. And so most of the time, you don't see people writing, you don't find a lot of people writing for another artist in Ghana. Most of the time, the artists write a song themselves. These are my observations.
That's true. Yeah, it's different in the U.S. I feel like in the U.S., a lot of artists write for other people, and then later they come out and say, "Oh, look, I'm a solo artist." But they were in the game the whole time. Just in another avenue. Okay, so tell us a little bit about some of the projects you're working on. You've had a great years in Ghana Music Awards. You've been nominated for so many different things. Tell us about the latest Ghana Music Awards and all the different awards you were nominated for and won.
Yeah, so I can't remember all of the top.
Because there were so many.
There were so many, but I know we won Album of the Year. We won Video of the Year, and then I think we won Afropop Song of the Year with Queenie, which we did with Cleo from Zambia, and the remix with Ice Prince from Nigeria. And it's been ongoing. This year, we decided to release a new record every month. We put a hold on in June, where we'll resume next year. But the major project just took off, where I released a single with Ricardo Banks of the Mavers. It's quite a big collaboration. We released it on the 1st of September, and we're about to release the video. And then God been so good, and the first been so good. We've been nominated for Afrima Awards, which is being held in Nigeria. And so in November we'll be in Nigeria. The one video has been nominated for hip hop video of the year on the continent, and so it's quite exciting. And we've been on tour, the Books and Rhymes tour. We did almost 10 spots in Ghana. It's been interesting.
Busy year.
Yes.
So what do you have planned from now to maybe 2016, 2017? You told us about your month songs and how you're going to continue that next year, but what else do you have planned?
Well, in 2016, we want to move further.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be spending a lot of 2016 in the US, in the UK, and in a lot of other African countries. We want to continue to grow the network. We want to continue to grow the reach that we have, and we think that it's only right. So a lot of plans for 2016 is going to evolve around getting the music across to other Africans in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you set your music goals? And once you set those goals, how do you create new ones? Does it get to a point where you've achieved everything you want to achieve and you say, okay, I'm done? Or do just new goals get created as you achieve them?
Yes, I think new goals get created. There's the bigger long-term goal, which I don't want to say.
Okay.
Yes.
No, don't. We don't want people
yes,
stealing your goals.
Yes, so the new goals get created because the music has a funny way of leading you on. No matter how you see it, you release a record, you think it's going to be big in Ghana, and then you start getting people call you from Romania.
Wow.
Like
Romania?
So, yeah, like so to speak. And so immediately you have to readjust your plan. If your plan was to release the music and then be in London to do a show, but the demand is triggered in Romania, then you might want to go to Romania, or you might release a record and hoping that in 3 months it becomes a major hit. But if it becomes a major hit in 2 weeks, then you have to change plans. And so it's a think as you go kind of job. It's a think on your feet kind of job, and make sure you're always taking decisions to benefit the situation, because the music becoming big creates an opportunity on the road as the music is becoming bigger. And so you have to be looking at the opportunities and how to milk it and take advantage of it as you go along.
That's true. Now, you've released so many songs, I can't even name all of them. But of course, Ghetto Arise is my favorite. You already know that. We've had that conversation. But have you ever written a song, released a song, and just maybe never really thought that much of it, and then all of a sudden it became a big hit? Like, what songs have you done which really surprised you in terms of how everyone received it?
Ghetto Arise is one of them.
That's
and
my favorite.
Yes,
we need to go right.
we
need to go right.
So it's one of them. There are a couple of other songs, like I have a hip hop song called Heba. I knew it was going to do well for the hip hop fans. I didn't know it was going to the video was going to catapult it across to everybody who is somebody who loves art. Another typical example is Over Again. I knew it was going to be.
Oh yeah, I love that one too.
Yes,
over and over and over again.
I knew it was going to be a super record, but I didn't know it was going to be a monster hit.
You have so many songs. I even forgot about that one.
Yeah, it went viral, and those are some of the records. Yeah.
Oh wow, you've done many, many, many things. So tell me about some of the things you're doing apart from music. I know you do a lot of humanitarian work. Tell me about some of the latest projects you've been involved with.
Well, not so long ago, the team decided to rebrand. We used to be Volta Regime Foundation, and the team figured they have to make it Edem Foundation, so that it doesn't send across a signal that it's only the Volta region that will be helped with the setup we're doing. And so we are restructuring Edem Foundation and hoping that we can start new projects of helping people, trying to make sure we give hope to people in our own little way.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Edem, you have so many things planned.
Yeah, that's true.
Music-wise, humanitarian-wise. So for all your fans, do you have any advice just to any guys or girls out there who look up to you and they're like, you know what, I want to be the next Edem? What advice can you give to anyone who may be watching this video who has an interest in music and looks up to you as a role model?
Well, I think it's very simple. You have to first of all get it into your head that nobody owes you anything. And so you shouldn't walk around in life thinking that people have to open doors for you. And when they don't take offense. So you always have to keep pushing. And then every opportunity you're given, I think you have to be grateful for it, because there are a million people who need that same opportunity. And so when you're given, you take advantage, you dedicate yourself to it, and make sure you push it through. That's quite key. And I think that you have to stay level-headed and stay humble, because whatever you have in the form of a gift, it's called a gift because it's given from God. And so you have to stay level-headed no matter how much it raises you to be exposed to humans. Yes.
That's very good advice. What's the best advice that you've ever received regarding your music?
My music,
or life?
I think life, one of the best advice I received in recent time is to make sure that you keep your word, because your word is your bond, and it's the biggest bargaining tool you can have. Your word can make somebody give you $1 million and know that you're going to bring it back, because you just have proven yourself over a long period of time to be somebody who keeps your word. And so your word is quite important. When you give people your word, you live up to it. When you give people your word, you live up to it. When you give people your word, you try really hard to live up to it, and that builds a reputation for you, and reputation is quite key for long-term benefits. I see it as it becomes goodwill, and you can use goodwill for a lot of things that money can't buy.
Exactly.
Goodwill will get you to go into some of the best places. Goodwill will get you to walk into some of the best opportunities just because you've built it for yourself.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Well, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to have you here. Yes. Thank you so much for joining Ghana Music Week Festival, as you said earlier.
Yes.
So basically, the whole plan for Ghana Music Festival is to have people, to excite people about Ghana if they aren't already excited about Ghana already, and to encourage everyone. It's not just Ghanaians, it's everyone. You don't have to be Ghanaian, Ghanaian, non-Ghanaian. The whole point is to encourage people to come to Ghana 2016 March, during the week of Ghana's independence, and to come see what Ghana is about, right? Not only is there great music, great sounds, great places to visit, Ghana's just a great place generally, overall. So Edem is here with us during Ghana Music Week Festival here in the U.S., not only to encourage everyone to come out to Ghana, but also remember him, remember his music. His music alone will keep you busy, because we can't even remember how many songs. Do you know how many songs you've released in your lifetime?
No, my DJ does.
Really?
Yes, my team has the data, but I know it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot with 3 albums and a lot of singles. It's and a lot of collaborations and features. Like between January to March, we did 24 features. So
that's a lot of songs.
Yes.
My goodness. So today, like, what are two of your most favorite songs that you enjoy performing live?
I think any of my hip hop songs I enjoy performing, because that is where I have my zone of passion. The rest is for the business. I still enjoy it. I still put my heart. But if it's a hip hop song, I'm really, I really love it personally. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us
here. Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to see what else you're gonna come up with within the next year.
Thanks for crashing in my hotel room.
Thank you for having us crash.
I need to get back to sleep. So, guys, I'm going back into my sheets. I need to rest. They came to bug me, so I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Peace.
Abe yana nana, Queenie. Abe yana nana.